Welcome to On Air with Russell of Hotels, where we talk about everything hospitality, from hotels to influencers and everything in between. We will feature guest interviews with hospitality professionals who will share their experiences. Your host, Russell Edmond, has spent over 25 years in the hospitality industry, beginning his career with Marriott International in hotel operations before moving into the sales arena and becoming a relationship building director of sales and marketing. Russell then went to the other side as a hospitality entrepreneur. He now consults in the hotel and meeting space, which includes being the CEO of Russell of Hotels Group. Did I mention he was a veggie foodie? Yes. Russell is always looking for good non-meat eats. Please welcome your host, Russell Edmond.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels live hospitality talk show. I do thank you for joining us today. Hold on one second. I'm done something. I can't change it now, but hey, what's going on? Happy Tuesday, Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So before I forget, if I, forget, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Have a great time with friends and family. Do what you do, and don't eat too much, okay? But enjoy what you eat. I don't know what's going on with me yet as far as what I'm going to be eating, but you best believe it'll be some non-meat eats, okay? So I'll share with you. Don't worry about it. I'll let you know. I see Candace. Candace, hello. How are you? Candace is a style educator. Okay, all right, Candace. Happy Tell All Tuesday. Is it Tell All Tuesday? Is that what it is? I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels live hospitality talk show. And as you can see, I welcome, engagement. I welcome comments and things like that. I'll make sure at the very least you get a shout out. So I appreciate Candace for tuning in. And I'm not sure if she can see her own comments over there, but I'm sure everyone else can. So, but I do appreciate her coming on, as well as anyone else that wants to, show their face, not show their face, but show their name, and it'll pop up, and I'll give you a shout out. So, but thank you so much, Candace. As you can see, I'm in Hollywood today. I did a behind the scenes of how my Ecamm works, or the platform that I use to do the show. I did a kind of a behind the scenes earlier on Instagram and kind of showed you that, you can change different backdrops and things like that. Am I in Hollywood? No, I'm not. That is a backdrop that I use, but it's just that Hollywood magic, right? So I always say it's the magic of Hollywood that makes things go, right? So it's just an app that you can use, or a platform, not an app, but a platform that you can use, and you can change different stuff. So if you go and check out my Instagram page, you can see the live that I did today. I kind of went in depth of how this whole thing works. And why did I do that? Because, someone taught me this stuff, right? I didn't just wake up one day and, I know to use Ecamm, or I know I need to buy a new laptop, or I know all this stuff, right? Or the Rodecaster, I needed that. I didn't know all that stuff, right? So someone told me, or just by, process of elimination, I kind of figured out, or I got information from people, the people, right? But I had to figure some stuff out. But you don't have to figure it out. Just ask, and I'll tell you exactly how, or how do you do this, and what things that you should purchase, and what things you can get away with not purchasing and not buying. I mean, today I'm live, right? Live on two platforms simultaneously, right? So LinkedIn and YouTube. You can go to LinkedIn or YouTube and you'll see me there, right? Well, I use a platform called Restream, which allows me to broadcast to up to two platforms for free. Now, if I want to do, three or more, then I have to pay, right? But two, and only two, I only need two, right? So LinkedIn and YouTube are my platforms of choice, and then the other ones get the replay, right? So once this is done, I'll replay this live. I mean, not replay it live, but replay it on like Facebook and other platforms, as well as the podcast that I do. So while I'm talking, I'm doing the podcast as well, right? Because the podcast is audio My partner in crime, the Roadcaster, is doing the audio portion. So once that's done, I will upload that into my two podcast platforms and go from there, right? So is it easy to do? Yeah, now that I know how to do it, yeah, it is. But like I said, I had to figure that stuff out. So welcome, to everyone, especially the people that are listening to on the podcast. I do appreciate you guys as well. So wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, just Google On Air with Russell of Hotels, and you'll find out where that is. Okay, so whatever platform that is, you will find it. But you're welcome, Candace. Candace says thanks for the shout out. She has a boutique. Okay, it's women's boutique, right? I went in there one time, and because she always says, "Oh, we have men's stuff too." So I go in there, it'd be like a drawer in there. You can't fit much in this drawer here, Candace, right? But no, she has a boutique called All That and More. It's in Culver City, and yeah, it's a women's boutique, and she has a lot of stuff, a lot of fly gear. Can I say fly? I don't know. Is that a word I can use now? I don't know. Lit, on fire. I don't know. But go in there and let her outfit you, because she's a stylist too. Okay, so she's always dressed to the nines. Can I say nines? Dressed to the nines, dressed to the T. I don't know. Anyway, I can't wait to check out the IG. Yeah, check it out. So cool. What laptop did you buy? See, people asking questions now. Okay, this is I don't know what the heck this thing is called. I'll think about it in a minute. I can't think of what it's called. It's a laptop. It's a Mac, and Ecamm could only be used with Apple or Mac products. Okay, so this is a MacBook Pro. So it can only be used with Mac products. Okay, so that's one thing. So once I got my Mac, it just so happened that Ecamm was only, compatible with that. I was like, okay, all right, well, let's get it going. So, yeah, yes, you can say All That and More. Yes, call All That and More. That's how much men shop. They only need a drawer. Okay, you're funny. I see Lonnie Wolf is there, partner in crime. Lonnie Wolf, I appreciate you coming on. Lonnie is, he's my housekeeping expert. I mean, as far as, letting us know what's going on in housekeeping or what's not going on in housekeeping, that seems like more. That's a conversation for another time. But Lonnie's been on 2 times, and you talk about somebody that has passion about the hospitality industry, more passion than I do, right? Or maybe he equals my passion. But yeah, when it comes to housekeeping, Lonnie is all about bringing things out to owners, letting owners know that this is not good. These are things we need to change. And then, because owners always wonder about what's going on with my bottom line. But if your hotel is not up to par on the cleanliness level, well, then your bottom line is going to suck. Okay. So, but Lonnie makes sure he has those hard and difficult questions with owners, right? Or those discussions. And we appreciate Lonnie for that. So, okay. Yeah, it's a Mac thing. So okay, there you go. So that's that for the little intro that we talk about. The intro goes from, subject to subject. I'll still answer the comments as they come in or address the comments as they come in, but let's move forward, shall we? So today is Tuesday, November 22nd, in case I didn't say that. Boom, this is some industry stuff, okay? So today, and I just got this stuff off the fly, right? Today, U.S. passenger movement is 95% of 2019 levels. Okay, so this is passenger movement, meaning airline passenger. So people in the U.S. are at 95% of where they were of the levels of 2019. So we're always going to go back to 2019 because that was before COVID, right? So people are starting to travel. People have been traveling, right? So not just here in the U.S., but overall in the world. So people they have gotten back to travel. Yeah, we're a little bit 5%, but I would say by first quarter of next year, then we will surpass that. We'll be back to 100% of 2019 levels. That's just me saying that. At least the traveling or the airline travel, and that's what those numbers represent. So today, U.S. passenger movement is 95% of 2019 levels. For summer of 22, summer of 22 just passed us. Global hotel occupancy levels were 70%. Now that's 5% over 2019 numbers. So, as a global, community, people staying in hotels, people have gone back to traveling and staying in hotels. So that's what that number represents. And don't ask me the publication I got that out of because I can't remember, but um, probably Hotel Industry News or something like that. I'll let you know in a minute if I remember to go back and look. Let me see. Can I go back and look and just so I can reference that? Uh, 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 hotel hotel news. It's basically I go Googled hotel news and I find this information, right? So okay, and then this is one that people ask me all the time. They've asked me this all the time about Airbnb. Has Airbnb put a dent in hotels? That's what they ask. Well, people stay 2.4 days longer in an Airbnb than at hotels. Those are the numbers that have come out. Okay, these are right hot off the presses, right? In fact, Airbnb called me and said, "Hey, you need to mention this on your show, right?" Because they know I'm not a big fan of Airbnb. So anyway, but yeah, people stay 2.4, almost 2.5 days longer in an Airbnb than they do at a hotel. Why do you think that is? Probably they're longer week and maybe they're using for the weekends. Family events. You stay a little longer. Maybe it's that whole bleisure thing that people seem to be sleeping on. Bleisure and leisure, business and leisure. So meaning people go for business, but they extend a couple more days for leisure. And you put those two words together, business and leisure, and you come up with leisure. So yeah, I think that could be a lot of it too, because people are not working. A lot of people are still working remote, right? And I think moving forward, we're going to have a remote society as far as working is concerned. If you don't have to be, in your office, you don't need to be. You can office from anywhere in the world or, in your region or whatever. And a lot of that stuff is happening. So if I'm going somewhere for business, say I'm going to Arizona for business, okay? But Airbnb must be a fan of. Yeah, right. Yeah, sure they are. Maybe. But yeah, so say I'm going to Arizona on business, right? And so I'm going for 2 days for business, but then I stay another 2 to 3 days for personal. My family's going to join me in this Airbnb. So I get an Airbnb that's big enough for, 5, 6 people, right? To have their own rooms. And that's the thing with hotels versus Airbnb. There's a lot more space, right? And I'll give you this quick example. I'm not a big fan of Airbnbs, and I've shared why I'm not, and I don't need to go back into that now. But when my daughter graduated from college or got her master's back in the summer, we utilized the Airbnb in Scottsdale, Arizona. Okay, and it worked out great because we had, I don't know how many people were there. Let's say we had 5, 6 people, and almost everybody had their own room, right? So because we had a 6-bedroom house with a pool table, with all this kind of stuff, right? So you get a lot of amenities that you don't get with the hotels, right? And then, yeah, you got to bring your own food in, your drinks and all that kind of stuff. But okay, you got to do what you got to do. But this is the thing. We stayed probably an extra day or whatever, than we would have stayed in the hotel. And you only had to get one house with 5 bedroom or 6 bedroom. You didn't have to get 6 hotel rooms, right? Because that would have been the alternate. That would have been the option, right? To either use the Airbnb or get multiple rooms in a hotel, which would have it cost a lot more than what the Airbnb cost. So, and that's what it comes down to. And then, okay, say I worked 2 days. I mean, I was on business for 2 days, and then 3 days I was just there, on a leisure basis, right? So hence the whole thing, business and leisure, you put that together and it's bleisure. Okay, so that's what's going on. And then this is another thing, I didn't put this down here, but I want to say it was 60% of people who use Airbnbs are millennials. Okay, 60% are millennials. Okay, so remember that when you're trying to, when hotel people are trying to, you know what, Airbnb is taking a bite out of our occupancy. Well, what are you going to do? Go after the millennials. How do you go after the millennials? I don't know. That's up to you to figure out. I mean, I got ideas, but it's up to you guys to figure out. But 60% of millennials use Airbnb. Okay, some of them will never use a hotel. Okay, they never will. All right. So, but how do you find that bleeds your business? That's another question. I have ideas on that as well. So, okay, but anyway, let me get to some of these comments. Okay, so Stacy Edmond, that's my brother. He says, but Airbnb must be a fan of. Yeah, they are. Of course they are. Lonnie says space size, large kitchen, more beds, toilets, etc. Yeah, I mean this place had like 4 bathrooms, right? And 6 bedrooms, game room, pool. The place was sick. It was ridiculous. It was over the top. It was out of control. You know what I mean? So, but remember, Airbnb has their rules too, right? No noise past 10 o'clock. This one, if the police showed up for any reason at all, you're basically getting kicked out. You know what I mean? Just there's some rules there. You can't smoke. I mean, most of the stuff were okay anyway because we don't smoke. We don't do any of that stuff. But Airbnb has their, like I said, they have a niche. But for me, I just have some issues with them on how they operate and how up to the day that you're supposed to, almost up to the minute that you can check in, they can cancel you without anything, without any notice. They can just cancel you and say, you know what, I don't want to rent to them. So that's the reason why I don't like them. Okay, that's one of the main reasons why I don't care for them. But because of simple economics, it made sense to do it, and we did have a great time. And all hosts are not the same, right? So obviously the host that we had in Arizona was great. They had a great product. Everything was great. But every host is not made the same, right? Some hosts are jerks, and they'll do whatever they can to get you out and to take your money. Okay, so but anyway, that's enough of that. Enough of that. Okay, so space size, yeah. Then Dylan says, "Hey, what's going on, Dylan? How are you?" Hello, Marsha's here. I didn't see Marsha here. Hello, Mr. D. Beaumont, Mad. That's the Edmond clan. Okay, yeah, the Edmond clan. They're in full effect. Okay, we're in full effect. So yeah, so people stay 2.4 days longer in an Airbnb than a hotel, and then 60% of Airbnb users are millennials. So there you go. Oh. This is a quick thank you. Quick thank you to Miss Keisha Stone. Keisha Stone was on my, not sure if you guys know this, but I have a new segment that comes on. It comes on LinkedIn as well as YouTube. It's called "Did You Choose Hospitality or Did Hospitality Choose You?" Okay, it's a new segment I started about, I don't know, I had like 6 people on already. So maybe about 3 weeks ago I began this. And Keisha Stone was on there. She was my guest yesterday. So we had a conversation about how she got started in the industry. Like I always say, no 2 people started alike, right? So I just want to give her a shout out, thanking her. And I don't know Keisha. This is the thing. I don't know her personally, okay? I only know her from social media. I know her from Instagram and LinkedIn, okay? So that's how I knew her. I do these lives. I do a lot of lives, right? And she happened to be coming on my lives consistently because you can see the people that are popping up, just like I can see that Dylan, Lonnie, Stacy, and everybody else is on here, Can Dance. So I started noticing her and I started asking her questions, like say, "Hey, where are you located? Thank you for joining." And she said, "I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana." And she has a company called Stone Events and Promotions. And so she came on and told us her story about how she got started in the industry. She went to school and she had a job as an event manager, I believe, with Hilton Hotels out in Indianapolis. And it kind of grew into something else, and then she started her own business. But you got to listen to the whole thing, okay? Because there's always some twists and turns in somebody's career, right? So you need to check it out. So those are things that I'm doing now. So I welcome any hospitality professionals that want to come on and do it. It's called simply, I just ask 2 questions. 2 questions that I ask. Did hospitality choose you, or did you choose hospitality? That's one question, right? Well, I guess that's kind of 2, right? And then there's the last one is, what advice would you give someone that's coming into the industry? Boom, that's it. 15, 20 minutes, that's it. That's all I want. Because if you go longer, I'm cutting you off. Okay. So I'm joking about that. But yeah, I'm only looking for a 15 to 20-minute spot. That's all I'm looking for. So that's it. I mean, it's not like On Air with Russell of Hotels, which goes for an hour, and most of it is me ranting. It's me talking, right? So, but anyway, thank you, Miss Keisha Stone. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And if I'll give her Keisha Stone, yeah, Stone Events promo. But thank you so much for coming on. I do appreciate you. Next, what's next? Oh, I guess there's nothing. Boom. What is this? Oh, these are three things that I. Lonnie said, I saw the segment with you and Lauren Brown. Boom. Yes, I've. If I'm ever lost in Blythe, I'm going to claim to be in Edmond to get good treatment. Yeah, you do that and see what. Oh man, that's funny. Yes. If you're ever in Blythe, ever going through Blythe, you break down. Just say, "Hey, I'm a friend or a family of the Edmonds." Okay, and yeah, that'll get you somewhere. It may get you run out of town. I'm not sure, but no, they'll treat you well. Okay, Blythe is a wonderful community, so they will treat you well. What else? Ilani says, I saw this. Oh, he saw the segment on Lauren Brown. Yeah, Lauren Brown's been on there. Dylan Beaumont has been there. Victor Simmons has been there. Kelly Kowa. Who else? Who else has been on there? And then just yesterday, Keisha Stone. So, and I think I'm missing somebody. But yeah, several people have been on here already, and I got people lined up that want to come on. They just hadn't come on yet. But it's one of those segments that I get more comments about that segment than I do about this show. So what is that telling me? I don't know. But check it out and tell me what you think. Always give me your feedback. I appreciate it. Okay, so these are three things that I always go over. Be intentional, make decisions, and take action on what's important to you. Whatever that is that within your career, within your life, whatever, whatever in your show, like my show, I'm trying to be intentional and make decisions that take action on what's important to you or to me, right? So it's important to me that I do a show like this, right? That I, educate people on hospitality. I'm all about having people, what's that next wave of people that's going to come into the hospitality space, right? Are we doing enough outreach? To me, this is some type of outreach because this doesn't go to just current hotel people. It goes to 50% of people that watch the show. 50% are like hotel hospitality people, and then another 50% are people that, they don't work in hotels. They utilize hotels. They can be meeting planners. They can want more information about it. They can be corporate people. They're different. They're executive directors. They're owners. They're across the gamut of the people that listen to the show, right? So it's not just all, hotel people that listen to the show or I get comments from. I get comments from a wide range of people, and this is globally, right? It's not just, I remember when I first started, I was just happy that people in LA were watching, right? But then LA started turning into Atlanta, turning into the Caribbean islands, and then South America, Australia, New Zealand, London, Italy. It just started going into something else, which I never thought it would. So, but if you're intentional about what you're doing, you never know what the boundaries are going to be or the limits are going to be, right? So set your sights high and just keep going, right? But always be you, right? I can't be someone else. I'm going to be me. I'm going to joke around. I'm going to talk about Blythe every now and then, because that's me, right? That's just what I do, right? I'm going to laugh a lot because that's what I do, right? So if you don't like me laughing or joking about things, maybe this ain't the show for you, all right? Because I always tell people this. I'm not for everybody, and everybody ain't for me, right? But that's the same with everything, right? So, I'm not saying anything that people don't know, right? So just be you, be represented because my representation matters. It matters that people that look like me do shows like this. People that have experiences share their experiences. I'm not just this hospitality personality, which that's what I call myself, hospitality personality. You can't be a personality. You cannot be a personality and have a show like this, right? So you got to have some personality, right? Um, which I do, probably bigger than I should, but it is what it is. Um, but it's important that I'm represented in a space like this, okay? And people can see me and say, man, if he can do it, I can do this, right? So that's what I want. So hopefully that's what's going on. Lonnie says, do. I have to excuse myself at 4:30. Meetings, wishing the Edmond family, Dylan, Beaumont, and everyone in the show today great Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, Lonnie. Appreciate that. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Be safe and eat lots. Okay, so there you go. And maybe try some non-meat eats. Okay, let's have a non-meat eat Thanksgiving. Yeah, right. People are like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Davon Reeves, how to buy a hotel, a roadmap to hotel ownership. I have the book. I mean, you can see the book. People would probably think, oh, that's just a copy of the book. That's just something he got from the internet. No, that's not something I got from the internet. Where's the book at? There it is right there. Boom. There you go. How to buy a book. So yeah, so Miss Davon Reeves actually owns 3 hotels. And Davon Reeves did I say that she was 35 years old? So she came up with this comprehensive book on how to buy a hotel, step by step, right? So let's just say you don't want to buy a hotel. You just want to know the steps that you would take to do that. Maybe somebody else is interested. Get the book, and it's all explained in there. I mean, everything and there's tips right here to buying a hotel. Location, location, location. That's number one, right? You don't want somewhere in the middle of nowhere, okay? Because it probably won't do well. Number 2, the brand. You want to make sure it's affiliated with something, right? Because everything is about name recognition, okay? So if it was the Russell Hotel, more likely you would know what the heck it was, because there's no affiliation. If I was affiliated with a major brand like a Hilton, a Marriott, a Hyatt, or Holiday Inn or something like that, then you would say, oh, that's the Russell of Hotels by Holiday Inn. You know what I mean? Okay, Holiday Inn's in there. That's a major brand. Okay, so there's some brand recognition there, right? Not saying you cannot just open up the Russell Hotel, but it's going to come with a lot more work. Because just think about this. There's a lot of hotels that are around, right? A lot of them are franchises, right? Meaning somebody bought those and they paid for the naming rights, right? So they pay to put that Holiday Inn sign on the building or whatever. It's not owned by Holiday Inn, but Holiday Inn has figured out a formula how to buy a hotel, right? How to operate one, reservation systems, all that kind of stuff, right? So why recreate the wheel if you don't have to, basically? So that's why franchisees exist to this day, because they didn't want to reinvent the wheel. There's a proven method that works. Let's go with them and then go from there. And I'm not, advertising Holiday Inn over Marriott or Hilton. I'm just throwing those names out there, okay? Unless you want me to. Okay, but anyway. So the brand. So make sure it's a known brand. And number 3, hiring the right operator. Now, some hotel people, hoteliers, hotel owners will operate the hotel themselves. They'll live there. They'll do everything, which is completely fine. But then there's a lot of people that they want multiple hotels, right? Well, you can't live at all the hotels, right? You can't manage all of them simultaneously. So that's when management companies come into play. They're called third-party management companies. But just remember this. There's not one size fits all, right? Just because, this one management company has 1,000 hotels that they manage, does that mean that's the best one for you who only owns one hotel? How much handholding do you think you're going to get from a company that has 1,000 hotels, okay, and you want your hand held for the one hotel that you have? So just make sure you interview multiple, because there's many out there, right? So make sure you interview management companies and see what they can give you. If you need hand holding, then that's what you let them know. Hey, I need a company that can come in and hold my hand. We're going to break down the P&L statement and all that. I don't know how to read a P&L. I don't know anything about a star report, Hotelligence, how to look at payroll. I don't know any of that stuff. That's why you pay a management company to come in and do it. And they basically get, I want to say, I don't know what the fee is. It varies, but let's say 3% of revenue, somewhere around there. It's like 3 to 5%, somewhere around there. I'm just throwing out numbers now, but I want to say 3 to 5%. Okay, so of your revenue, right? So there you go. Sometimes it's worth it. I would say it's worth it in a lot of situations. It's worth it. Then it's because the people that are hired are their employees, they're not your employees, right? So there's a lot of benefit that comes along with hiring a management company. So, but those are three things that Miss Davon Reeves says. It's a roadmap to hotel ownership, how to buy a hotel. So once again, location is number one, two is the brand, and three is hiring the right operator. And just remember, you heard all this stuff from Russell of Hotels. Okay. Boom. So who's your best brand advocate? I say this every week, right? And you can see if you guys follow me on Instagram or any of my social media, you know who my best brand advocate is, right? It's me. Okay. So if somebody was to ask you that, you are your best brand advocate. If you're not excited about what you do, excited about your company, your business or whatever, guess what? No one else is going to be, right? So make sure you're the biggest cheerleader because excitement is contagious, right? So if you're excited about it, you're going to get everybody else excited about it. If I'm wearing, and it happens all the time, right? I'm wearing a logo shirt, like my Russell of Hotels shirt, right? People, oh, I want one of those. They're excited because I got one on, right? Sometimes they can be more excited. Oh God, you have shirts? Let me get one of those. So, in fact, I just happen to have one right here. So this is what it looks like, right? So I wear this shirt, and people just, I don't say they lose their minds, but people always ask, oh, I want one of those. Did you know? Okay, check this out. If you look at the R and the H, right, at the top, you see where the bed is? Did you know that this was a bed? Some people don't even know that. This right here, that makes a bed right there, right? Some people don't even know that. They don't even know. I was telling somebody the other day, I was doing a live, I think, and then somebody heard the live, and I saw them a couple of days later. Said, "Oh," and I had the shirt on. She goes, "Oh, I see the bed. There is a bed there." I'm like, "Yeah," and because I was talking about logos, right? And logos have to tell some type of story. They have something to do with, what you represent or who you are, right? So when I was looking at different logos, right, which I got on Fiverr. So if people were interested, which is your logo? Fiverr does them. Okay. So I got and I got it right on the second time, right? So I got, so I paid, what did I pay? Let's say I paid $10 for one graphic designer, right? I paid for the first one. I paid $10. He gave me 2 samples. And I'm like, I'm not really feeling those 2, right? So then I hired another one. Okay. Maybe I think I paid $20 for this guy. He gave me 3 samples, okay? And one of the samples that he gave me was that one, right? And I said, that's it right there. And it didn't even click that was a bed at first until the guy who did it kind of said, oh, you kind of see the bed right there? I'm like, I didn't even see it at first, right? I'm like, oh, yeah. Well, then that's it, right? So yeah, so that works for me, right? So that's why I went with that logo because it kind of represented, but a lot of people don't see it, right, until I make mention of it. So I guarantee you someone right there is listening and watching I see that logo, but I didn't know that was a bed. But then they start looking at it and they're like, that is a bed. Okay, there you go. Russell of Hotels, hotel bed. Okay, I see you. But yeah, so so Fiverr, people on Fiverr do good work, right? So, but sometimes you have to they don't get it right on the first time. Okay. It just so happens they got it right on the second time, or the second person I went to, he did a great job. And I think he was international. He wasn't even here in the States. He was somewhere international. It doesn't matter because you just pay. And then, I think like I said, it's $20. So total to get that, get the logo was, $30. That's what it cost me. So there you go. Boom. So you are your best brand advocate, okay? So you can see on my social media feeds, on my postings that I do, from doing stuff for me, my own brand, you'll see that I post 2 or 3 times a day. I do lives every day, Monday through Friday, um, because you want to get your brand out there. You want people to know that yes, indeed, you're excited about your brand and you are your best brand advocate. So that's why I do that. Okay. Let's see. I need some water. Water. Hold on one second. I'm just take a drink of water. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I want to tell the people on the podcast that I was drinking water because they like, what is this dead time? What does that mean? Is it something happened? So that's why I always mention that. Excuse me, before excuse me. I'm getting choked up. Okay, today's quote, and I think I may have did I do this one last week? I don't know, but I tend to keep these quotes for a minute. But I think this one, I don't think I did this one last week. Anyway, hospitality salespeople should aspire to be synonymous with the brand they represent. What does that mean? Excuse me. Dylan says, I see the bed. Okay. Did you see it before, Dylan? I just have to ask, did you see it before? Dylan made a comment, and like I said, I always address the comments. I welcome the comments. I welcome engagement. Okay, so that's one thing this show has that some shows may not do. I take time because I appreciate people coming on and asking questions. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? It's all about the interaction, right? The engagement. Okay, so I'll read this again. Hospitality salespeople should aspire to be synonymous with the brand they represent. So, and I've been saying this for the last several weeks. No, he said. Dylan says no. A bit of an optical illusion. Thanks for pointing it out. See, boom, there you go. So yeah, so there is a bed in my logo. Can you find the bed in the logo? So if you look at it, if you look at it close enough, you'll see the bed and you'll see a cat jumping on top of it. People, you look, you stare at certain things, and then there'd be something in the background. Yeah, be a cat jumping on top of the bed. Oh boy, that killed me. So anyway, getting back to the quote. Okay, let's focus here. Okay, let's get on the quote. Hospitality salespeople should aspire to be synonymous with the brand they represent. What does that mean? Okay, I've been mentioning this for the last couple of weeks. It's about a month. So, people that work for brands, first of all, the brand starts with you, right? So no matter who you work for, people, say you're a salesperson, and this is about salespeople, right? Hotel salespeople, okay, or tourism salespeople, CVB salespeople. So they represent, a city or destination or a hotel, right? But the people, the client will buy you first before you even get to the brand, right? But what I mean is you should be synonymous with the brand. So when people think about me, let's just use me as an example. If they think about Russell and I represent Hotel A, right? So they're going to say, oh, that's Russell Edmond. He works at Hotel A. Okay. And then maybe in conversation, they talk about, hey, I think about having a meeting at Hotel A. Oh, Hotel A? Yeah, the one in Los Angeles? Yeah, you need to call Russell Edmond because it's synonymous with, the two brands are synonymous together. Because remember, you're the brand first that people buy, right? You just happen to work for another brand. Okay, so you want to be the face of your brand, right? That's basically what that means, right? So I'm the face of Russell of Hotels. So hopefully if you think of me, you think, I get people all the time say, hey, Russell of Hotels, that kind of thing, right? So that's what you want, right? You want people to know that I'm Russell of Hotels, and then when they think about Russell of Hotels, they think about Russell Edmond. Okay, it's one and the same. There's no difference. Okay, so I had what's the young lady's name on my show a couple of weeks ago. She was doing Did You Choose Hospitality? Did hospitality choose you? That was Shelby Walker, right? And I told her, I said, hey, there's only a few people that I can say are synonymous with their brand, and I told her that she was, right. I said, you know what? You do a great job because you post things. You're always the face of your organization, right? So when I think about Shelby, I always think about Visit Concord, California, Northern California. And when I think about Visit Concord, I always think about Shelby. Okay, I mean, it's just it, right? I may have mentioned this whole thing last week. Also, Veronica Rivera with Visit San Diego, same thing. Okay, I always think about when I think about San Diego, I'm thinking about Veronica. I tell people like, oh, you're gonna plan something in San Diego. Hey, you need to contact Veronica, right? Or you're gonna plan something in Concord area. Hey, you need to call Shelby. Okay, that's just it. That's what you need to do, right? So just make sure salespeople. I think that's the ultimate thing you should aspire to be is to be synonymous with your brand. I mean, that's just it. Uh, that's the only thing I can come up with, right? So there you go. There you go. So yeah, have I said enough? Yeah. So that's what that means. So I'm gonna keep that quote for a minute because I think that's important, right? That we do that. Let's see. How do you increase social media engagement? I always mention this every week. How do you increase social media engagement? Number one is consistency. Okay, and you can see the consistency because I do the lives, because I do the postings, and I do this show consistently. So consistently, I do these things on a daily or weekly basis. Okay, so it's not and it's not easy to start doing this because it's something new, right? You're not used to doing it. Oh, it's a lot of work and this and that. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but hey, you get benefits too. It starts to pay off, and then when you start getting business from it, you're like, yeah, let me do more. You know what I mean? So it takes that. It takes for you to get to that point, or someone starts to noticing it, right? So this is the thing. You may not always get initially. You're going to get business from it, right? But you're going to get people to notice it. You're going to get more eyes on it, and that's what you want. That's where branding comes in, right? Branding's not selling. Branding is more putting your brand out there, and people are noticing it. It's branding is noticing your brand. It's brand noticing, whatever. So, but you can't get people are not going to notice you unless you're being consistent. You can't do something one time and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, I got all this business and people are noticing me and blah 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 blah. Now, it don't happen like that. Okay, it don't happen like that. Second thing, value. Make sure you're adding value to someone, right? Okay, yeah, I was just reading the comment there. But yeah, we need value. You got to add value too, right? So people have to know that okay, Russell adds value to. I mean, he explained something to me that I understand. He explained contracts to me, and I didn't understand contracts. I was just signing contracts just willy nilly. But Russell actually, told me why I should sign this particular thing and what this amendment meant. You know what I mean? So that adds value to someone, right? And then the third one is authentic. It goes back to that being yourself kind of thing. You have to be you, your authentic self. You have to be you, right? You can't be someone else. I'm not going to sit up here and try to be someone else. I'm going to laugh about certain things. I'm going to be silly about certain things. That's just me, right? There's a time and place for everything, right? But but just be consistent, add value, and be authentic. Dylan made the comment. You get to meet Gwyneth Paltrow and Mary J. What does that have to do with anything? No, I mean the last comment you said, no, a bit of an optical illusion. Thanks for pointing out that had to do with the bed. And then the next comment you said, you get to meet Gwyneth Paltrow and Mary J. What, being consistent, adding value, being authentic? I'm not sure where those people fit into that, but I'm sure you'll let me know. So there you go. And then how? Okay, go back. Okay, now that we know these three things, right? How do you increase your social media engagement? What tools do you use, Russell? I mean, you tell me all this stuff, but what tools do you use? Well, guess funny you should ask that. I use Reels, right? So I use stories, Reels, and lives. Stories are, and these are all Instagram for the most part. YouTube has shorts, right? So those would be like Reels, right? But they're short form videos. Okay, so everything's going to short form right now, right? Algorithms only want short forms. Okay, so when I mean short, less than a minute. I mean even less than that, like less than 40 seconds. So okay, and I'll give you just an example right now before I move on with this. A couple of weeks ago, I mentioned that I was having some troubles with getting more engagement on YouTube. Okay, So I mentioned this to Bruce Jordan, the MJ of hotels, right? So because he does a lot of things on YouTube, right? So I asked him, I said, "Hey, I'm not getting a lot of subscriptions, right? So what can I do?" And he said, first of all, he said, "Man, as many videos as you put out, you should have tons of subscribers." He said, "What do you not?" He said, "What I see you not doing is you're not doing a lot of short form videos. You're doing, like I'll post this right here, right? So you're doing long videos. You need to do shorter things, right? And then entice people to come in and see the short, and then more likely they'll start looking at the longer videos that you post, right?" So I took that advice and I started splicing things up, right? So videos that I would do, I would condense them to about 40 seconds, right? I'll do reels, 40 seconds. I'll do whatever videos, cut them down to 40 seconds, right? And you would be amazed. But see, it's not just the video though, it's the types of video. People like things that are, I don't know, just exciting to somebody. Okay, I'll get another case in point. When I walk near LAX, right? So I take a lot of videos of planes taking off and landing. Okay, so guess what? All right, so I take these videos, do them to 40 seconds, and I started putting them on YouTube. Right, this is in the last week. Okay, I started doing this. Do you know the average for any of those? The average that people will look and engage with is like 4,000 people that will like and make comments on anything I put up on a plane. Okay, a plane coming in, a plane taking off, two planes coming in, one plane coming in at one time, and then another one taking off, kind of simultaneously, right? One coming in, one taking off. Man, I got like 4,600 views on that, right? So it's not just that they're short, but it's whatever the subject matter is as well, right? So, but all of my engagement has gone up. It's gone up from like in the double digits, like maybe 25 views, 30, 50, maybe 90, to like three digits, right? To like average of like 400. Like, okay, with the exception of the two, I got one for like the 4,600. I got another one for about 1,500. But then the other ones those numbers have gone up too, but they've all been short. They've all been about 40 seconds, right? So, and then the average ones are about 400 views now, which before I was only getting like 10 to 20, you know what I mean? So that worked. So short form videos is the key. So when you're using stories, reels, lives are different, but lives will, at least people know that you exist, you're around, and you can even splice those up. So if I did a live that was 15 minutes long, right, I can use that same video and splice it up and only use the good part of it. Like say I was talking about Airbnb, you know what I mean? This is why I don't like Airbnb. And then I splice it, and then what does that do? That little sound bite that gives people like, oh shoot, he's about to go in on Airbnb. So I want to listen to the whole thing, right? So that's what I do. So I splice them up, put them on YouTube, do little quick videos on reels, less than 40 seconds, do stories. Stories are short too, right? So you can use the same video that you use for your reel. You can do the same thing on a story, right? Because more people will look at stories before they look at reels as well, right? So stories are the new thing. So if you can do stories all day long and what's going on, that will engage the heck out of people. So I just gave you guys some information that you maybe didn't know. So, okay, what did Dylan say? When you blow up on social media like ROH, okay, all right, I got you now. 4,600 views of airline takeoff and landing without commentary. Yeah, and that's the thing. Use the real audio, like the sounds of the jets. That's what they want to hear. That's what they want to see. I don't, people like excitement. I'm sure if I was starting a fire, they would like that too. You know what I mean? Oh, Russell's a pyromaniac. Oh, cool. Let's look at that. He's burning up the house. Stuff like that. I don't know what these algorithms look for, but it's something exciting. It's something like that. It's something over the top. I mean, you can just look at the internet and see what gets millions of views and what gets, in the hundreds or thousands of views. you can just see that and tell. Some of that stuff I'm not ever gonna do, right? I'm not going that far, to get likes and views, but I want to keep within the realm of, like I said, tourism, hospitality, non-meat eats. Okay, so most of my stuff is going to be in that, and it happens to be planes. I'll put a caption like international travel, arriving in LA. Travel is up, 50%, over the same time as last year. So those are things that are still within, and I travel a lot, right? So I fly on a plane. So I'll take, if you ever see me or travel with me, I always take the window seat because I'm always taking pictures of what's going on or doing videos, what's going out the window. If that's just a clear sky, if that's a clouds or whatever, the plane going up, the city, city lights or whatever, that's what I do, right? So that's what I do. So, but you got to keep it. This is me. This is me saying this. Keep it within the realm of what you do, right? Now, if I started showing, girls shaking booty and all that stuff, now that's something totally different, right? Yeah, I probably would get a lot of views, but now I'm confusing people. Like, wait a minute, Russell of Hotels, or was he into hotels or booty shaking? What is he into? Because if you look at the internet, that's what a lot of stuff is. A lot of people are getting views on that stuff. What does that mean? What is that leading for them? I don't know. But that's not the path I'm taking, right? So my advice to people, it's not about that. It's about the engagement, right? Who's making comments about what you're doing, right? So, people like, oh, because I always, if I do the plane things, I'll always say something like, you're flying in, international travel, you're flying in, you need a hotel, always book direct. Boom, there you go. So there's always a message at the end of that. Now, booty shaking, I don't know what the message would be at the end of that. Stay at this hotel. I have no idea, but done right. I always say this: done right, done consistent. The internet is a great tool. Done wrong and just showing things just to be showing it, you're not accomplishing anything. You know what I mean? So, but that's just me. That's just me. So, anyway, so enough of that. So those are things that I use. Who's hiring? We're almost done here. We're almost done. Who's hiring? I forgot. Okay, who's hiring? Real quick. A Hilton Hotel in El Segundo, they're looking for a director of sales and marketing, or director of sales. So I say a Hilton. This is funny. And I got all these on HCareers, hcareers.com. Okay. So that's where hotel people go to find jobs. But anyway, so these are all jobs in the greater LA area. So this is it's a Hilton Hotel in El Segundo. They're looking for a director of sales. Okay. At the top, it says, what do you call it? It's confidential, right? So it says it's a confidential posting. But if you open it up and look, it tells you that it's a Hilton Hotel. So at first it just said Director of Sales in El Segundo, confidential. It wouldn't tell you. But once you click on it, it tells you that it's a Hilton Hotel in El Segundo. And the only Hilton Hotel in El Segundo is the Hilton Garden Inn in El Segundo. So it just basically tells you what that is, or process of elimination for me. So the Hilton Hotel, Hilton Garden Inn in El Segundo is looking for a director of sales. The Paseo Hotel in Huntington Beach is looking for a director of business travel. The Conrad Hotel, which is just open, brand new, that's downtown Los Angeles. They're looking for a senior sales manager. And the same hotel, Conrad, downtown LA, they're looking for a group sales manager as well. Okay, so if you're interested in those properties, you need to check it out. You need to go to HCareers. And then the Carlisle Hotel in LA, they're looking for a manager of in-room dining. Okay, so in-room dining, that's room service. Okay, non-meat eats. Okay, all I can say today is lion's mane mushrooms. Okay, that's my non-meat eats. I've been wanting to get some lion's mane for a long time, and we found some at this Asian supermarket that delivers, that they have all these mushrooms, these exotic mushrooms. And I've been hearing about these lion's manes forever, right? So they call them lion's mane because when they're fresh, they look like a lion's mane. If you saw a lion's mane and you saw these mushrooms, you'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, I can see that. So, but we got them dried, right? So they were dehydrated. Okay, so they come in a bag and they're dehydrated. I'm like, well, shoot, how am I going to use that? So I just looked at on the internet, Google everything, right? So I Googled how do you rehydrate them? Just soak them in some water, okay? But sometimes they can become too mushy, is what they said. So I'm like, but I just took a chance. Okay, so I wanted to rehydrate them, so I soaked them in water, and then they were like a sponge, right? Some of them were like a sponge; they absorbed the water. So guess what I did? I just squeezed it out like a sponge, right? And then I set them, and then they dried, and then I breaded them, lightly bread them. The first batch I baked, okay, seasoned them, baked them. Oh my God! You talk about a meaty mushroom. I thought the oyster mushroom was good. The oyster mushroom is good, but these lion's mane are incredible. I'm like, wow, where have I been? Why did I not know about this? You know what I mean? So yeah, lion's mane, and then the second batch I fried. Oh my gosh. And then I made this Thai peanut sauce to go with them. I, yeah, I could eat lion's mane to the day I die. Okay, I'm just saying that. So if you haven't had lion's mane mushroom and you're into mushrooms, find those, cook those. Okay, and I mean you can saute, you can do whatever you want to do with them. They're not going to be bad at all. Okay, lion's mane mushroom. That's my mushroom of the for the rest of the year. Lion's mane. Okay, so there you go. So if you ever come across lion's mane mushroom, you need to check them out. Okay, and remember you heard it here. Oh, that's the mushroom Russell was talking about. Oh my God, this is too good. So anyway, what do I do? Real quick, hospitality personality. Like I said, you can't do a show like this and not be or have a personality. So boom, there you go. So that's one thing that I do. Like I said, I post a lot. I do. That's called content creating. So I say posting a lot, but it's actually creating content. So I'm a hospitality content creator, which is there. I do hotel site selection, which I help companies and organizations find hotels that are suitable for their meetings, conferences, conventions, retreats, whatever, getaways, whatever you want to call them. I help companies and organizations do that. I'm the liaison between the company and the hotel, contract negotiation, pricing negotiation. I do all that kind of stuff. 10 rooms or more is considered a group. I've done 10 rooms. I've done 650 rooms on peak before. So meaning a peak night. So it doesn't matter. You can do 1,000, it's just add a couple more, you know what I mean? So those are things I do. What else? Sales training for hotel GMs, right? So I just recently completed sales training for a management company that I had worked with before previously. Contacted me, the owner contacted me and said, hey, I have this new GM. You think you can give him some sales tips? And I came up with a whole sales training program, right? And on a PowerPoint. So I sent it to him like, oh, this is good. Okay, let's do it. So I do that now, right? So there you go. Hospitality personality, hotel site selection, agency person, a specialist, hospitality content creator, sales trainer for hotel general managers or sales training in general. So there's a lot of things that I wear as far as hats are concerned. So just ask, you know what I mean? But those are some of the things that are prominent that are things that I do. So there you go. One thing. What are you doing to keep your brand relevant? I mentioned all these different things. So do you use any of those things? If you didn't use any of those things, what do you use? Okay, so what are you doing to keep your brand relevant? Those are things that you can answer for yourself. Any questions at all, please feel free to reach out in touch, and I'll let you know. 3 P's: purpose, passion, perseverance. Know why you do what you do. I think I told you guys why I do what I do. What's the purpose of me doing this show? It's basically to reach different people, hospitality professionals and people that know nothing about hospitality, that are interested in it. They're interested in hotels. They're interested in tourism, interested in non-meat eats. I mean, those are things. So that's the purpose, to reach people that either know about this and how I can assist them, or maybe they don't know and then I can assist them as well, right? So that's the purpose of what I do, just to basically put a face with a name. Okay, Russell of Hotels, this is Russell. I'm Russell of Hotels, right? Russell Edmond is my real name, but hey, the purpose is to you educate people on hospitality, hotels, tourism, non-meat eats. There you go. Passion. Either you have a passion or you don't, right? If you don't have passion for something, guess what? Do something else. Perseverance. Be consistent, continue to evolve. Don't give up and swerve when you need to. Okay. So we don't pivot here, we swerve. Okay. Just so you know. But, that's it. So, but thank you guys so much. These are how you can get a hold of me. Make sure you follow me on YouTube if you're, well, subscribe on YouTube. Oh, I didn't tell you this. Okay. So the subscribers on YouTube, right? So I've increased it based on what Bruce told me, doing the short form videos. I've gained 12 new subscribers because of that. So yeah, so it does work, right? So, but they'll change the algorithm next week, and I'll be like, well, now it's not working. But yeah, but for now, I'm riding high. So I had 75. Now I have like 88 or something like that. So that's maybe 13 or 14 more, and that's less than a week, right? So I'll continue to do that. I'll continue to let you know because algorithms do change. But short form videos are what's happening now. So just heed that. In short form meaning less than a minute, but I do mine less than 40 seconds, right? You just real quick, because people have short attention spans, right? So real quick, in the first 3 seconds, everything should happen, right? So because you want to keep people. So if you don't have something for the first 3 seconds, then that's when people are like, oh, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Because a plane coming in, a jumbo, let's just say 747 coming in, and all the loud noise, and for 3 seconds, that's going to keep people like, okay, let me listen, see how this ends, right? So, and then the plane lands. Next thing you know, you got 4,600 views, and this is the thing that's so crazy. The 4,600 views came in about 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it was like over a week. No, it came in 10 minutes. That's how stuff, and for me, that's viral, right? People will say, well, it goes viral. You got to have millions of views. No, if you don't average millions of views, then why do you think you're going to get millions of views, right? No. So, yeah, this was viral for me. 4,600 in 10, 15 minutes. That was huge, right? So, anyway, so how do you get a hold of me? Like I said, follow me on LinkedIn, IG, YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube page, at Russell of Hotels. And Russell at russellofhotels.com is my email, but you can always slide into my DMs. I love when people slide into my DMs. And then you can email me. I mean, not email me, but my website is russellofhotels.com. So thank you for joining. Once again, this is show number 184. I just looked over at my phone and I see a happy Thanksgiving from Reggie Woolridge. Now, I'm about to get off this show, right? Because it only goes to 2 o'clock, Reggie. But where the heck have you been? And it's great hearing from you. Reggie's the general manager, and I want to say at a hotel in Dallas. We used to work together years ago for Sunstone Hotels. And yeah, Reggie's a great guy. Dude, I haven't heard from you in forever. So thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. We need to connect because you need to be on this show, man. I need to get you on here to get your how you got started in the industry. Did hospitality choose you or did you choose hospitality? Because I forget everybody's story, right? No two people got in the industry alike, and Reggie needs to be on here. So Reggie, I appreciate you coming on. This show is every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. I mean, feel free to come on, make your comments, and maybe you can be a guest one day. But I appreciate you guys. But you guys have a great Thanksgiving. I didn't forget. So you guys have a great Thanksgiving. I thank you so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. I do not take it lightly that people actually come on, make comments, and listen to the show. So you guys have a great day, great week. Stay safe. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. Please tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. as we talk to other hospitality professionals. Your feedback is important to Russell. Feel free to email him at russell@russellofhotels.com with any questions or suggestions. Until next time, try not to be a person of success. Rather, become a person of great value.